Less than a month after President Obama signed the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell, there are new federal rules that give more rights to gay citizens. Hospitals are no longer able to deny visitation rights to same-sex or domestic partners. Now, these new regulations will also make it possible for those partners to make medical decisions for each other as well. Joe Solmonese joins me now with more on that. He's the president of the Human Rights Campaign. Joe, thanks for joining us today. And how big is this for the gay community?
Well, it's a significant move and really, I think, speaks to a very important need that all of us have when we are at our most vulnerable. As you mentioned, the president issued an order to all hospitals receiving Medicare and Medicaid, which is essentially all hospitals in this country, that they enact guidelines, policies, and procedures that would really respect the visitation rights of all patients, regardless of sexual orientation or gender identity. So it's a substantive policy move, but it's also a symbolic message from the president about his values and about the kind of values and cultural competency that he'd like to see hospitals engage in.
Yeah, and the president had received some criticism early on in his administration for perhaps not addressing gay rights and gay issues earlier on. But now with what you said, that progress, signing the repeal of the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, for instance, in December, he's been hailed for that, much support. Do you think this is a sign that gay rights are basically becoming more accepted?
Well, I think it's important to remember that near the beginning of the president's administration, he certainly played a significant role in ensuring that the Matthew Shepard and James Byrd Hate Crimes Protection Act was passed, and as you mentioned, the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. But there have also been a series of what we call these executive orders, things that the president can do on his own without the involvement of Congress. This is the most recent and perhaps the most high profile, but whether it is regulations at HUD that deal with discrimination against gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender people and their families, or with the TSA, or around issues like family and medical leave. There have been a whole series of things that this administration has done that have really closed that gap that exists in the absence of marriage equality in this country.
So these visitation rights, what happens if hospitals don't comply?
Well, if they don't comply, then they would lose their Medicaid and their Medicare funding. But again, it calls on these hospitals not just to enact these policies, but to really enact a measure of what I think of as compassion and common sense in dealing with same-sex couples and their families as they walk through the door.
All right, Joe Solmonese, thank you very much from the Human Rights Campaign. I appreciate it.
Thank you.